Hello, hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday Fun Day, start of a completely new week. Even though some people consider Sunday to be the start of the week, nevertheless, Monday is definitely the start of the work week, especially after a holiday, a couple holidays, kids back to school, some people who are off, they're likely to be back to work today. And I hope everyone is having a good start to their week. I hope everyone is having a good start to their week. You had a good start to your day. FNM said make sure you hit the like button. Thank you, FNM. Yeah, if you're feeling froggy, you want to hit the like button. Cool beans. If not, cool beans. Hey, Star. Star said hello, V. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. I hope you enjoyed your birthday yesterday slash last night. So I was thinking about this topic, and I'm not too well read on it to keep it a bean. Most things I talk about, I'm not too well read on, which is another reason why I like to do a live or a pre-record about the topic to help me become a little more knowledgeable about it. Because there's no such thing as learning too much. It's always something to be learned. Always something we can learn. Always something to be taught. Nobody knows everything. And if they say they do, they're liars. They're a liar. And I had shared a video from on my wall not too long ago. Who is it by? I want to say Pastor Jerry Flowers Jr. The reason why I bring that up because I was just talking about how nobody knows everything, right? The hell is? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? I hope so. Hold on. Okay, I think I fixed it. Okay, cool beans. Hey, Cutting Edge. Good afternoon. So yeah, that was like a little sidebar. That's not the topic. The topic is God's favor isn't fair. So what's up? How are you? I'm doing well. I'm on my little breaky break. So we can do a midday live. instead of me just doing a regular midday check-in, do a topic, especially since I didn't go live this morning. It was just not happening. It wasn't happening. So yeah, the topic is God's favor isn't fair because it isn't. And that can be a hard pill to swallow sometimes because ultimately he decides how he wants to shell out his favor, you know. And all thing we can do is just apply that free will that he blessed us with. Sorry for that noise. I'm opening something to a container. The only thing we can do is just utilize the free will that he blessed us with and just try to be the best us that we can be. But even with that being said, don't get it twisted and think something is a given. And really our motive, which really shouldn't even be a motive when you're doing good and putting good into the world. Motive shouldn't be, oh, I'm doing this because I want something from God or I want something to happen. I want him to make something happen for me to let me go around doing these good deeds. No, that should be the mentality regardless. So how are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. How are you? So yeah, I thought about this topic. I'm constantly writing topics down as I think about them. And it's just so true. Very, very true. So it says, sorry y'all, because I'm eating, which is tacky, but two birds, one stone. The phrase favor isn't fair is a common expression, particularly in Christian and motivational contexts, used to describe the idea of receiving a special, unearned, or preferential blessing. Okay? Meaning of the phrase, at least the meaning that I have in front of me, I always encourage anybody to do their own research, trust but verify, and that's with any type of information you come across or that's given to you. So, y'all ever dip fruit in Nutella? We got some strawberries, some purple grapes, some pretzels, some pineapples, some Nutella, and some like trail mix, some dried fruit that I'm not gonna touch, but peanuts, and some little like chocolate chips. And I'm not even a fan of Nutella, but when you dip a pretzel in it or some fruit, it hits different. Don't tell nobody I said that, okay? I'm really not big on Nutella. The core meaning of the phrase, the core message of the phrase is that sometimes people receive advantages, opportunities, or outcomes that seem disproportionate to their effort or merit, which can appear unfair from a human perspective of equal treatment. Whether that's that coworker that gets that promotion, regardless if you want a promotion or not, that in your eyes or from what you've seen, they may not necessarily quote unquote deserve that promotion that came with that pay raise, right? But we don't know what they got going on. In whatever areas you may feel like they're slacking on or didn't meet expectations. You don't know why or what the dealio is, what their situation is. And that promotion may have been the biggest blessing they've received since blessing was received. You don't know their plight, but God did. God does. Key aspects of this idea include unmerited blessing. We just said the person experiencing the quote unquote favor often has not done anything specific to deserve it over anyone else. Okay, we're going over the key aspects of this phrase that God's favor isn't fair. So the second key aspect is divine choice. In a religious context, it is attributed to God's sovereign, choice to bless certain individuals as he pleases, regardless of their perfection or pursuit. Okay. I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I love that song. Bypassing fairness. This preferential treatment often bypasses conventional ideas of human fairness, which can lead to others feeling upset or envious. That green monster, that green-eyed monster, envy. Because what someone else got don't make you ish. So what you hating for? Envy is not cute or appealing. Okay. So we went over unmerited blessing, divine choice, bypassing fairness. We went over that. And the last one they gave us says purpose, over perfection. Purpose over perfection. The favor is often linked to a divine purpose or plan rather than personal achievement. Give example in a religious context. Your same coworker of yours that you feel like didn't deserve that promotion slash raise, right? And like I said, whatever areas they may or may not be slacking on in your eyes, you don't know their plight or why that is. They could be having all types of messed up stuff going on in their life, right? But they dedicated. They're very dedicated to God and what their purpose is, how they move, how they treat people. They got $75, but they're giving at least 30 of it to the church, right? They volunteering, all that good stuff. And God sees that. And he's like, yeah, I got something for you, shorty. I just seen you give your last 40 or so dollars out of your last 80 up to the church in my name, right? I see that regardless of whatever plight you have and what you got going on, you still striving and thriving to be the best you possible. You may be slacking at work a bit, but you there every time you're supposed to be there, without question, regardless. He said, I got something for you. While you, not meaning you, but just, talking example. While you, yeah, you may come to work every day. You may be on your game, but that's where it ends. You don't do nothing for nobody. You don't really too much care about what anybody else got going on as far as to try to be understanding or to be there. You're not tithing and offering nothing, which that's people's prerogatives. Um, you don't pay it forward. You don't do nothing that can benefit somebody other than yourself. If God sees you, His grace is every time you wake up. That's Him giving you some grace. But as far as favor, you ain't make the cut, shorty. Maybe next time. But don't hate on the person that did, because you don't know what they went through, what they going through. You don't know nothing. You don't know now. That's why you hating. You know? I'll continue. Let me see if anybody came in here. Anybody else besides Clinton? Hey, CP3. With your late hair. um, you ain't lying. I hope you're having a good day, Broham. It's nice to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. Carlos, yo, what it do, what it don't, chef? How are you? Well, I hope. Let me make sure it's on all messages because YouTube slash StreamYard do what they want to do. But you may want to get with it because I'd hate to see you get lost. Okay? So I have it on all messages. Yeah, all messages. So I should be good. In case anybody pops out and wants to say hello, I will see it. If it's meant for me to see it, if it's meant to be seen. Which one of y'all is still here with me? Because it says I have one in clouds and I was reading stuff, so that's why I'm all late to responding to y'all comments. Apologies. I'm not too much a fan of pineapple. To keep it a bean. Not the taste, but I guess it's a textural thing. Sidebar. I'm gonna look it up later because it's given fibers. I don't like pineapple. I might leave that on the island by itself and just get it popping with these strawberries and these grapes. Cause nah. Hey Star, I was saying at the top of the live that Wonderbaum is greeting you. I'm eating. My bad, girl. Number two, I was saying I hope you enjoyed your birthday yesterday slash last night. We've been talking about God's favor and how it isn't fair. And I guess if we want to go back to the saying, like life isn't fair, you know, that can circle back to God's favor not being fair. You did? Okay, awesome. Good. But that shouldn't persuade anyone to not still try to be the best them that they can be just because they don't feel like they're receiving any favor from the Lord. When there's so many people in this world that don't receive not even a piece of the favor that we do. But a lot of times we're just so hyper focused on that quote unquote piece of favor. We're hyper focused on the size of that piece of favor that God gives us when He does, right? Or we're hyper focused on the amount of times that we receive His favor. And it's like, this is all borrowed, you know? This is all borrowed time that we're working with here. So every day is His favor that we wake up and our loved ones are woken up. Especially if you're able to wake up and mosey about without any ailments, any major ailments, or your loved ones are able to wake up and mosey along without any major ailments, you know? It's like simple things that we as a people, as humans, don't appreciate. We hyper focus on the knots and what we don't have, what we like to have, what we feel like we're missing. And then we get a good hometown humbling of the sorts, right? Where the things that we already have, that God already blessed us with through His favor, those things get taken away from us in a blink of an eye. Hmm, hmm. Bet you'll have a newfound appreciation for what you had once you no longer have it. And you got to start from scratch. That's like, okay, remember when we were younger, the little etch a sketches? I don't know if you guys had siblings, but like the little etch a sketches, right? And you'll spend so much time trying to make whatever you're trying to make on that little etch a sketch, right? And you just keep complaining about how you just can't get it right. It's not perfect. Why can't mine look like how I want it? What you do? And then your sibling just come out the woodwork and snatch your etch a sketch, right? And just shake it. Just shake it, shake it, shake it. And if anyone has ever play with an etch a sketch when you're a child or have children that has played with one, you already know what happens once you get to shaking. Now you got to start from scratch. And the reason why your sibling who's obnoxious and came out the woodwork and snatched it and shook it up, because they got tired of hearing you talk about how imperfect it is and how it could look and how it should look. They don't want to hear that. So they snatched it and they shook it up. Now make it as perfect as you want it to be. I'm tired of hearing about how unperfect it is, right? So the Etch a Sketch is life and experiences, right? And sometimes we spend our time just complaining, complaining, complaining. Why God? Why God? Why God? Rather than thank you, God. You're gonna get tired of hearing that. And he may decide to shake some stuff up and have you going from why God, because you don't want to say thank you. He'll shake some stuff up and have you going from why God to how God. Okay? We spend a lot of time complaining while not being a part of the solution. There's nothing worse than hyper focusing on what somebody else has, why they have it, how they got that, what they had to do to get it, instead of spending that time and energy into focusing on you, what you have, what are you blessed with, what were you, what is it that you are blessed to attain and maintain? And if you have goals for things that you want to obtain, how are you going to get there? What do you need to do? And be grateful and thank God for giving you the tools. Because there's a lot of people that are not able-bodied that would love to do all type of things. But guess what? They just can't because they don't have the same tools as you and I. And then you have some people that have certain disabilities, but that don't stop nothing. The show must go on. They are very resilient people, and they're not going to let that stand in their way, which is why I have a lot of respect for the quote unquote Special Olympics. Those people are out there doing things that full able-bodied people couldn't do on a good day while not having all the quote unquote tools. I hope you guys are getting what I'm trying to get you to get from this message. I appreciate everyone that's come in and out. I understand people have things to do, life to live. And I also understand that everything is not for everybody. Shoot, and sometimes, if we're gonna keep it a beam, it could be the right message. You just may not feel like hearing it from them. And that's your prerogative too. If I encourage people to do your own research, just in case I may not be delivering it to your liking, because it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, and vice versa, and that's fine. The message is definitely valid, and I hope everyone's able to receive it. Let's see. Let's see. So it says usage and context. The expression gained significant traction through sermons and books by prominent figures like Bishop T.D. Jakes. I don't watch or follow him, just being honest. Who used it to explain instances in life or in the Bible, like the story of Esther or Joseph, where individuals are elevated to positions they didn't work for through no clear reason other than a special advantage. And if I'm not mistaken with Joseph, don't quote me. Dang, I wish my sis F and M was in here. If I'm not mistaken, when it comes to Joseph, his brothers was hating on him so bad because of the favor he received. If I'm not mistaken, they was plotting on getting him out the way. Their own brother. In everyday conversation, the phrase serves as a reminder that life doesn't always operate on a strict merit system and that comparing oneself to others' good fortune can be frustrating. Yes, not only is it frustrating, it's counterproductive. What's that getting you? What is that getting you? Especially if you're prideful and don't have it in you to go up to the person and just say, hey, what is it that you may be able to teach me? What am I missing? You know, take 2 seconds. There's definitely better way of spending your energy than sitting somewhere stewing and brewing, hating on the next person. You know? Anywho, I'm out of here. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Bye.